In that moment, everything returned. The searing pain of 2014, the endless stream of criticism, the quiet tears no one saw.
Alvarez, here's McAllister, Di Maria is the spare man, and how Di Maria, glorious goal!
8 long years of waiting, of doubt, released in one glorious, final swing of his left foot. For a man whose career was defined by heartbreak and near misses, this was not merely a goal. It was a defiant act of redemption, the final, perfect chapter in a story written not just by skill, but by suffering, unshakable faith, and fierce love. This is the final redemption, the journey of Angel Di Maria, the boy who ran every day just to survive and ended up running straight into eternity. He was born on February 14, 1988, in Rosario, in a neighborhood called Parque Casas, a place where dreams ran faster than money and opportunity was scarce. His father, Miguel Di Maria, worked in a small charcoal shop. Angel helped every afternoon, filling dust-choked bags, breathing smoke. Before he learned to score, he learned the brutal necessity of work. He was a whirlwind, hyperactive, a child who could not sit still. A doctor finally told his mother, he needs to burn that energy. Take him to football. So she did. At El Tuito, a tiny local club in Rosario, a thin kid with impossible speed began running, not for glory, but for peace. At just 16, his father gave him an ultimatum: work full-time, finish school, or try football for one last year. His mother made the choice that changed history. Give him one more year. And after that 1 year, a tall, thin 17-year-old Di Maria was stepping onto the top division of Argentina, the Primera Division pitch for the first time. On July 4, 2005, he played his first match for Rosario Central. From the back-breaking charcoal shop to the Primera Division, his story had already defied every probability. He wasn't supposed to be here, but destiny had already chosen him. His speed was raw, his body still growing, but the talent undeniable. By 2007, Europe could no longer ignore him. After shining with Argentina at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup and the Olympics, and earning praise from Diego Maradona, who called him Argentina's next superstar, a major step arrived. In July 2007, Benfica came calling, with intent. They paid €6 million for 80% of his rights, signing him as the successor to club captain Simu, who had just left for Atletico Madrid. It was a gamble for Benfica and a lifeline for a kid from Rosario. He left with one suitcase, a quiet voice, and a promise whispered to his family: "I'll make this worth it." A year later, Benfica doubled down, paying €2 million more for the remaining 20% of his rights. They knew what they had: a rising star, soon to become a world-class one. This transfer was a significant step in his development, with his breakthrough season coming later in 2009-10 under manager Jorge Jesus. From Benfica, his rise carried him to the world stage. In 2008, he scored the winning goal in the Olympic final in Beijing and awarded Olympic gold. In 2010, he was offered to join one of the most prestigious clubs in history of football, Real Madrid. He joined them. In 2012, he lifted La Liga with a record 100 points with Real Madrid. And in 2014, he delivered one of the greatest individual midfield performances ever in Champions League history, dominating Atletico Madrid in the Champions League final. A night that helped Real Madrid lift La Decima. Angel Di Maria had become the heartbeat of club and country, the proof that a boy from a charcoal shop could climb to the very top of football. But every story of ultimate glory must carry a wound. For Di Maria, that wound was Brazil 2014. He had been Argentina's engine, driving the team with his assists, his tireless runs, his crucial goals, scoring the extra-time winner against Switzerland, and sparking nearly every attack alongside Messi, until his body shattered. On July 5, 2014, in the World Cup quarterfinal against Belgium, Di Maria felt a sharp tear in his thigh as he attempted a shot. Medical staff gathered. His face was saying everything. A moment meant for glory instead became the moment his World Cup was taken away. But the injury was only the beginning. Days later, a letter arrived from Real Madrid. The order was simple: do not let him play. But Angel Di Maria didn't know how to surrender. He tore the letter apart and begged coach to let him play. But fate and politics had already locked the door. 8 years of dreaming led Argentina to the World Cup final in Rio de Janeiro. And Di Maria watched the match from the bench, powerless. He later said, "They didn't let me play. I cried for weeks." What followed was a cycle of heartbreak few footballers survive. In 2015, injury struck again in the Copa America. In 2016, during the Copa America Centenario, another muscle tear returned at the worst moment. 2 finals, 2 losses on penalties, and Di Maria watched both slip away without being able to finish the fight. Critics were merciless. They called him fragile, that he disappeared when it mattered most. Manchester United moved him on after a single season. Paris Saint-Germain doubted him. For Argentina, a section of fans labeled him cursed. Yet, he never stopped smiling. He never stopped running, because running was the only language his life had ever taught him. After the devastating defeat in Russia 2018, he reached his breaking point. He told his wife, "Maybe it's time to quit the national team." She looked at him and said, "Not yet. Keep going until they stop calling." So he stayed, and in 2021, everything began to shift. Copa America final against Brazil, on Brazilian soil. Maracana, the enemy's ground. Di Maria saw a long pass falling from the sky. He lifted it once, then chipped it effortlessly over the keeper, and in that single moment, he erased 28 years of waiting. Argentina were champions. Lionel Messi finally smiled a smile of true relief. And Di Maria whispered, "I waited for this all my life." For years, he had been relegated to the shadow beside Messi, the one who failed, who limped off. Now, they stood as brothers in shared redemption. That night, he sent a triumphant message home. "We did it. I told him I'd get him his Copa." The suffering now had profound meaning. But destiny wasn't finished. There was still one ultimate mountain left to climb. Doha, Qatar, 2022 World Cup Final. Lusail Stadium, 88,000 screaming voices. 80 minutes before the trophy, and 8 years after his most bitter heartbreak, Angel Di Maria stood precisely where every story had previously broken him. He wept openly during the anthem, not from fear, but from the weight of memory. He wasn't just playing a game. He was about to rewrite his life. The first half was a masterclass. First, he drew the critical foul that led to the penalty. Messi scored, 1-0. Then came the masterpiece. Messi to McAllister, McAllister to Di Maria. And for everyone watching, time simply stopped. He lifted the ball past Lloris, the same calm, perfect touch that had previously haunted his nightmares. Then he cried again, because redemption feels heavier and sweeter than mere victory. This time, there was no injury, no letter, no pain, only tears and peace. When he was substituted in the 64th minute, Messi met him on the sideline. No words were needed, just a long, silent hug of undying gratitude. He later called it the best game of my life. And he revealed he had told his wife hours before kickoff, "I'll score." It's written, just like Maracana, just like Wembley. For the boy from Rosario, the one who carried coal, the struggle was finally over. He hadn't just won a trophy, he had carried his entire country. When he returned home, the city that raised him was transformed. Murals covered the walls. His name was no longer a footnote. It was a prayer. They once doubted him. Now, they bowed and thanked him, not for goals, but for unyielding endurance. Messi said he deserved this more than anyone. Scaloni called him a symbol of faith and work. After 130 games for Argentina, he'd finally stopped running, not because he was tired, but because he had finally arrived. And yet, he still runs. Back where it all began, Rosario Central. At 36, still chasing, still scoring. 7 goals this season, still playing like the boy from Parque Casas. He says it's his last dance. But perhaps redemption never truly ends. Perhaps it simply changes shape. He was never the loudest, never the strongest, just the one who never, ever stopped believing. From the dust and smoke of Rosario to the bright lights of Lusail, Angel Di Maria proved that every scar can be woven into a story, and every story can find a perfect, glorious ending. He didn't just win, he found peace. Behind every legend is a chapter the world forgot. Don't miss the next one, as every view means a kit to glory. Subscribe to FNTG and keep the legends alive.